Greetings, everybody. May I say good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are and what time you're watching this. I'm here for another one of my Catch Up with Mayo sessions here, where I just basically am here, solo Mayo, as we call it, just myself. And I try to do this once a week, at least once a week, but that's usually about what I do for the most part right now. And they're going to be Saturdays. They'll be about this time. These will be going on live like this with myself um, on Saturdays about 5 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. Eastern. I change it up. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. I know there are people there who like it better earlier at 4. So we see what we can do. All right. Okay. Hi, Patrick. I know, for example, Patrick, I know for you it's late. This is very late. You'd rather me start at 4. And there's reasons why I started at 5 today. I actually went to my record store to hang out today. And two of my friends that I thought were going to be there, they said they were going to be there, but then something happened where they couldn't make it. One guy was driving the other guy there by car. So, long story short, I scheduled this for 5 p.m., thinking that I was going to be hanging out at the store more. But as it turned out, there weren't as many guys as usual there. The regular guys couldn't all make it. So, long story short, I could have done this at 4 o'clock, no problem. I didn't know. I wanted to allow more hangout time, and I didn't need more hangout time. Oh, hello, Spring Heel Jim. What's going on? There you go, talking about classic searchers. There's Woodland. What's going on, Woodland Goblin? Hello, James. Hello, Mike Walljasper. There's an interesting name. Hello, Robbie, Detroit's Vinyl. Hello, Charles. What's going on? Hello, James. Doing great, thank you. And ready for this. How do I feel? I feel a lot less burned out, as I've said before. I like it a lot better not doing streams every single day. So that's I'm doing now is not doing them. That's what I'm not doing now is doing them every single day. All right. So here we go. Hello, Andrea. Good to see you. Hello, George. Good to see you. Hello, Music Sound Gear. It's been a while. Doing good, Jim. Doing good. Well, I'm on here at least once or twice a week. Probably will repeat this later, but for now, I will say the next time I do one of these from the detention center, as I call it, I'm going to be doing the next two Tuesday nights. All right. Tuesday nights we're going to be doing these for the next couple of weeks, but not by myself. The Mayo Lounge with other people. So if you want to see the group deal, where I sometimes get other people on besides myself, I'm going to be shooting for that next Tuesday night. Tuesday night that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then the Tuesday after that, June 4th, I'll be doing another one then, also at 7 p.m. Tuesday, June 4th. And then after that, I take the summer off. No more Tuesday nights. Thank God for that. I don't like going over there to the detention center, as we call it. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And when summertime comes, or I should say after June 4th, I'm going to do at least one of those Mayo Lounge things with the group a week. They may be morning. I may do one every morning. I'm going to pick a day of the week and maybe do one in the morning. So we'll see how that goes. All right. All right. Let's see now. Hello, Harold. Yes, God bless our soldiers on Memorial Day. Well, it's not Memorial Day yet, but thank you. Monday's Memorial Day, but yes, good sentiments there. Gary, hello. Uh, are you hoping there aren't too many $1,000 box sets? I really don't care, Lila, to tell you the truth. And I'm very happy. Yeah, but I'm not exactly looking forward to there being any more or a lot more. Other people don't seem so happy. I've been reading comments there, Lila. Some other people are not too happy with other people buying them for some reason. I still don't know that mental problem. We got to find out what that's all about. Why people are so bummed out at what other people are spending their money on. That's There's something psychological there. You got to figure it out. You know, um, maybe Sigmund Freud could have helped us with that. All right. Okay, well, we have a clip where you reveal your present day top 10 McCartney songs. Well, I haven't really put that in the works yet, or even in my mind yet, but it's something I can easily do if I recall to do that. Why don't I just put that on my list of possible future topics? We'll write that down, shall we? I'll put down 10 fave modern Paul songs. I'm just putting that down as an idea, possibility. I have a list. Let's see. Oh, how is Danny? Has his coughing gone? Well, I just spoke to Danny by phone yesterday, and yes, his coughing isn't completely gone, but he's a lot better. That's good. He's a lot better, and it turns out that since he was coughing, he hasn't been doing the shows for a while now with me, and I haven't been doing them, but I haven't been doing them, and he hasn't been doing them with me, obviously. And he, like me, is actually enjoying the break. So he's fine. He's enjoying the time away. He didn't like getting up super early in the morning anyway. He's not really a morning person, he told me. But I said to him, "Hey, look, I'm only doing these like once or twice a week now, too, from here going here on out." And I just told him, you're always welcome when you're feeling up to it. So I mean, if you want to come back, anytime you want to come back, you can. I mean, there's no problem with us or anything. He just got sick with a bad coughing for a month, 3 weeks anyway, something now. And both of us are taking a break from doing it every day. So there you go. What happened with the movie chats? Nothing, generally speaking. I try to do the movie chats on my other channel, Mayo's Movie Mayhem. I do movie chats usually Wednesday nights around 9 p.m. Eastern. So you want to try that if you go over to my other channel, Mayo's Movie Mayhem. And it's just that there were a couple of times where I had them scheduled, and then something happened where I couldn't do it, at the last minute, kind of. So I had to cancel them. But generally speaking, they're still going on. Nothing's happened. Hello, Henry. What's going on? Uh, who's my favorite superhero, and have there been too many superheroes movies made? First of all, yes, in my opinion, there have been way too many superhero movies made. I'm done with superheroes. As far as my favorite, it's always been the Hulk, if you count the Hulk like a superhero. But if we get more conventional, I don't know. I like Superman. I like Batman. And in the Marvel universe, I guess I kind of like Spider Man. So. Joe, did you do a movie night on Wednesday? I sat up until 3 in the morning waiting. Well, I took no. I did not do a movie night, unfortunately. But you got to just. I'm sorry for anybody that was inconvenienced, but you got to check out keep your eye on the thumbnail, because of course I put on in advance that I was going to be doing this, and then hours before, I think I canceled it 6 hours in advance. So there really should have been no reason for you to sit up and wait, Charles, if you saw that the advertisement had been removed. I'm sorry about any inconvenience. Mystery Train says, can't wait for the new Follow That Dream FTD Guitar Man sessions. 5 CDs coming out in July. Elvis, we're talking about there. Joker 2 looks amazing, but it's not really a superhero movie, just a comic book based film. Your new theme song, No More Tuesday Nights. Well, not yet. I still have to go 2 more Tuesdays. This coming Tuesday, what is that? The 28th, Tuesday the 28th. I'll be there about 7 p.m. Eastern, live. And as I said, June 4th, the Tuesday after. After June 4th, I get the summer off for having to go there until September, so we'll do them here. Yeah, I've always asked myself that question too, Jim. I don't know. As I say, it's not my problem; it's theirs. But I don't understand it. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. I mean, I have no problem with people themselves saying, "Hey, I personally don't care to spend the money. I think it's ridiculous." Well, that's fine. More power to you. But when you start spending a lot of time and effort on others, it's crazy, man. Hammer films rule. Well, I do love Hammer horror films. He's talking about the horror series from England, Hammer. I love Hammer horror films, but the Universal horror films rule to me, Tim. I'm a Universal man. I don't know anything about the new Joker film, Lila. That remains to be seen. I still cannot see Martin McGrath's comments. No, and I don't know what's going on here. And again, Martin, I'd like to see the comments. I invited you back here as long as we can discuss civilly stuff. The only thing is, you have to find a way. Otherwise, you're wasting your time because I can't see them. I still think you should try to use a new account. Either that or one last thing. If it's a matter of me having to unblock a second account of yours, I don't know what the name of that second account is. So drop me a line and tell me what the second one is. But we spend a lot of time on this every time we do this Q&A stuff. And I'd like to be able to see the comments. Um, did I like the Bill Bixby Hulk? No, I didn't like it too much. It wasn't awful, but the reason I didn't like it simply was because it wasn't enough like the comic book for me. They had the I don't like when they have the Hulk being just a raging savage monster brute or doesn't have any even little intelligence and doesn't talk at all. I don't like that personally. Okay, at least I know when Charles was waiting the other night for the movie chat, he was occupied. That's good. Oh yeah, I agree. Amicus horror films as well. I like Amicus. They're really good, well done horror films. And they do a lot of those anthology films, different stories, so that's pretty good too. Hello, Jack. I love Universal also. Lugosi, Karloff, Cheney, etc. Yeah, those are my main things. Those guys are for me the Beatles of horror movies. That kind of thing. Um, George Harrison, childhood home, got a blue plaque here in Liverpool in Arnold Grove last week. I've never counted my records, so I don't know. I'm guessing at least 1,000 albums and hundreds of 45s. Godzilla minus one should be out in a 4 disc set, hopefully DVD and Blu-ray, in both color and black and white. Well, I hope so. So far, what I'm hearing is that they're kind of Toho is avoiding putting it out. I don't know what's up with that. Toho, the Godzilla people, are always really, really overprotective of the Godzilla franchise. I don't know what's up with that, but they've always been like that. Okay, I saw a very long video on YouTube featuring all the videos made by Wings for Back to the Egg. Yes, I've seen it. I saw it when it first aired. Well, aired on TV in 1979. When the album came out in 1979, they had a TV show Back to the Egg that had them. But I don't think that every single one of those were featured on the TV version. I think it was too many to have all of them. I think you know. I haven't seen a lot, but out of Lugosi, Karloff, and Cheney, my favorite is Karloff. That's fine. I love Karloff too. I think Lugosi's like the underdog, in a way though. Yeah, I heard a little bit about this. I met up with for a little while Ed of the King's Court, and we talked a little about this, you know. So I didn't know anything about it. Can you do George Harrison's voice? It's the best I could do. I hate dust. Can you relate? Dust? I don't like dust either. I don't know what you mean by dust. What are we? Oh, what are we talking about? Is that a group, a band? I don't have any catalog. I don't know what we're talking about. I saw a photo of Rogue Best and Olivia chatting after the unveiling of George's Arnold Grove blue plaque. The one hand clapping video here on YouTube is staggering. Paul is on fire. Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen one hand clapping before. Very nice. How about any 50s or 60s Japanese horror like Attack of the Mushroom People, etc.? I'm drawing a blank on it. Isn't there something? Oh boy, The Manster. Isn't The Manster a Japanese horror film? Um, I'm fine with that. With those two. If Peter Cushing is in it, any of those British films are great. Even the stupid sounding The Night of the Big Heat. Well, the thing is, Peter Cushing is was great. He's a great actor. Was a great actor, and he's one of those people. Almost anything he's in makes it worth watching. Almost anything he's in. Hi, Michael Nolan. He says I loved that Back to the Egg special. Yeah, I hear you. Me too. I liked it. George only stayed there until he was 7, but Arnold Grove is famous. Yes, indeed. Oh, I lost my spot. So, Karloff and Lugosi is like the De Niro and the Pacino of horror, eh, Joe? We might be able to say that, but I really like Lugosi. Karloff and Lugosi are equal to me. You know, it's hard to pick a favorite, actually, but that's a fair analogy, I guess. Is Dracula's line. Hello, Nick. Hi, hey Joe. Looking forward to the physical CD release of the new George Harrison. I don't know what that is. Cookie Boy EP. Talking about Ringo Starr, Crooked Boy. Oh, I see what you're. Do I have any of my records cataloged in Discogs? No, I don't do it. People keep telling me I should, but I got so many right now that I think it'll take forever to catalog them. I wish I would have started that 12 years ago. Okay, here we go. Nick again. Good night, good afternoon, etc., etc. Looking forward to next week's physical CD release of Crooked Boy by Ringo. Yeah, it's coming out. I think it's next Friday. I think it's Friday. Next Friday coming up. Yes, hi Marcus. John Lennon YouTube channel released an element mix of One Day at a Time. Sounds beautiful. I listened to it and I didn't listen to the whole thing. I bounced around and it sounded like it was all weird instrumental music. There was no vocals on it. I guess that's an element mix. I hear you, Jim. There you go. Yep, looking forward to the physical release of Crooked Boy, the CD release. Yes, Lon Chaney Jr. tried to play the 39 Hunchback of Notre Dame and 43 Phantom of the Opera. Um, he was originally to play Driscoll in King Kong, but replaced him with Bruce Cabot. Yep. Well, Chaney Jr. got to play the Hunchback, sort of, in a TV episode of Route 66 in 1962. Did the USA have a record called Stars on 45? It was a single release of a long Beatles medley. Yes, they did. I remember when that was played on the radios around here, you know. Yeah, Peter Cushing was in a Laurel and Hardy movie called A Chump at Oxford, 1940. Absolutely. Who would you say was most instrumental in originating music videos, Paul McCartney or Michael Nesmith? Well, my first instinct was to say Mike Nesmith because he did this thing, Elephant Parts, with I think that's what started it. They started saying that was kind of the beginning of MTV. But when you think about it, I wouldn't say Paul McCartney solo, but the Beatles as a group were pretty early making music promo films, promotional films. Really, they weren't called videos. Well, Henry says Karloff seemed to be more of an actor that was known for a variety of roles, while Lugosi was known mainly for just Dracula. Well, Lugosi got stereotyped, typecast. That's the word I'm looking for. Excuse me, typecast as Dracula. However, he was a great actor for many years in Hungary, his home land of Hungary, and was a very revered actor. It's funny because I always like about this is I agree that Karloff could be more versatile. Karloff was able to play many different parts. The funny thing is, Karloff could never be a good Dracula. As all the great roles that Karloff could play, he never played Dracula. Karloff never tried it, and I don't believe he could have played it. As great as Karloff was. If you got your album stolen and you had to prove it to the insurance, could you remember what you had? I couldn't. No, I couldn't either. And I always say that stuff like that. If that ever happened, I mean, I could never replace everything anyway. And how much would I get back? Maybe a little pittance, you know. Dr. Phibes were weird movies, but Vincent Price is amazing in them. I agree. I like the Dr. Phibes movies. The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again. Davey says, "Do you know the Amicus horror movies like Asylum with Herbert Lom?" Yes, I do. I like them very much. There's a lot of them. Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Asylum, From Beyond the Grave. A lot of those kinds of movies. I think Doctor Terror's House of Horrors is also one. They have different anthology stories, different stories in one of them. Yeah, I do like. I like the movie Asylum, and I like the other ones too. Amicus is all right with me. Do you tan nicely in the sun, or you just go red and burn? No, I tan pretty good, I guess. if you, I mean, when I used to work as a mailman, I would always get a tan when it was sunny time. Yep, May 31st is the day the Crooked Boys Ringo CD release is there. The Johnny Cash song "Hurt" I heard once, I think, and I did like it. Why do you love the Beatles so much? When did you get into the Beatles and why? Well, I was into them for as long as I could remember. I was probably like 3 years old at the time when the Beatles were actually doing it. And I like to watch the Beatles cartoon show. They had a cartoon TV show on it, and I got into the Beatles through the cartoon show. But they played the music in the cartoons as well, so I like the music too. And I got into the music that way. And my mom would buy a few records for me, and I dressed as Ringo for Halloween. I don't remember it, but that's what I'm told. And I became a Beatles fan that way. Really. I thought Nesmith originated the music video with the video for Rio. The Count on Sesame Street was the best Dracula. Okay. Interesting about Stars on 45, the single and album versions are different. Songs are missing from the album version because of copyrights. I read that Lon Chaney Jr. got pissed off that he wasn't cast as the Phantom of the Opera for the '43 remake. They went with Claude Rains instead. I know he was supposed to he wanted the role, but I didn't know he got pissed off about it or anything. So there you go. Make sure to thumbs up the live stream. Thanks very much. Yeah, please, folks. Please hit the like button. Help the algorithm, etc., etc. Um, Yeah, I just think it's very strange because I invited Martin back to the chat. I'm welcoming him back to the chat. I'd like to see his comments, but for some reason, no matter how many times I ask him, he's happy with me not being able to see the comments. I don't understand it, but if you change your mind, let me know. Did you used to watch Dark Shadows when you were a kid in the '60s? Not really. Not really. I like the character of Barnabas Collins, Jonathan Frid. I thought he looked good as the vampire, and it was a nice mood and atmosphere. But I'll tell you, in later years, I tried to watch Dark Shadows on DVD, and I found it to be kind of dull for me. Yeah, my first introduction to Karloff was him narrating the Grinch cartoon from '66. Yeah, a lot of young people, that's their first introduction. When is your next movie stream? That's over at my movie channel, and hopefully I'll do it next Wednesday. I'm trying to do the movie streams on my movie channel. Please subscribe, Mayo's Movie Mayhem, and I'll put the banner up there because sometimes it helps. There it is, and I hope to be able to do that, on Wednesday nights. And it's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern. I think it's pronounced Doctor Fibes, not Fibes. I don't know what you mean, but you do pronounce it Fibes. That's the way. That's the way he says it in the movies. That's the way that the people say it in the movies. Uh, I'm pretty sure Johnny Cash has a song called "Hurt." Uh, okay, Jack, take care, huh? Elvis does the best version of "Hurt." Okay. Oh, can you remember the last time you heard a tune purely by chance and it made you want to find out more about it or the artist? Yeah, Liliac, the heavy metal band Liliac, who's only really known on YouTube because they don't have regular releases, I don't think, you know? So that's probably the last time. Have you watched the new Beach Boys documentary on Disney Plus? No, I didn't. I didn't see it. Yes, I am going to get Mind Games. Yes, I am. The new Mind Games. Uh, I don't have any interest in either Taylor Swift or Beyonce, honestly. But I think Beyonce is better looking. But other than that, 9 Inch Nails recorded in the Sharon Tate Music House at one point. No way I ever would. Yeah. Yes, "Hurt" is a song from 9 Inch Nails. Johnny Cash has the more iconic version of the song. Right. Okay. Right. Murder House. Uh, I'll go along with that. I prefer Taylor Swift, but Beyonce's cover of Blackbird was honestly great. I have not heard her version. I heard it's great. It's funny, the reason I haven't bothered to listen to Beyonce's version of Blackbird was because I've even gone on record as saying I'm tired of even the Beatles version of Blackbird. I know some people don't like that. But just hear me. I love it. And by the way, when I say I'm tired of the Beatles song, that doesn't mean I don't ever want to hear it again. I just that I've heard it so many times and I'm a little burned out on it right now. But the Beatles' Blackbird is a masterpiece. Great song. But Johnny Cash, one of the coolest guys ever. Woodland would like to spend the night in a Lizzie Borden house. Are you serious? Come on. Okay, I'm afraid Joe Taylor Swift is in Liverpool soon. I bet she is photographed in Matthew Street or with the Beatles statues down at the pierhead. Could be. You do this every Saturday at the same time, more or less. I'm trying to do it every Saturday, either at 5 p.m. Eastern, like I started this one, or 4 p.m. Eastern, a little early. Trying to do it every Saturday, you know. And then I'm going to try to do one a week where I have a group. You can have multiple people coming up, but I really don't want to do more than that right now. So, and Beyonce's cover, she has a backup singer harmonizing behind her when he sings, and it honestly sounds great. Joe, do you not think Taylor Swift is hot? I think she's a good-looking woman, in my opinion. Not if it's worth anything to you, but I don't want to sound like a tip. I've seen better. I mean, she's attractive. Uh, right now, I'm doing Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern Tuesday. It's later at night, but I'm doing it for the next two Tuesdays. And then after that, I'm not doing them Tuesday nights anymore for the summer. Taking a break for the summer. Hi James. I'm burned out hearing about Taylor Swift. That'll never happen with the Beatles. There you go. Okay, I bought the last four or five compact discs Johnny Cash made before he died in the American Music series. They're all very good. You know, I've heard that they're very good, and he does a Tom Petty song. Doesn't he do "In My Life" also by the Beatles? I heard that the last series of albums very good. Jennifer Lopez is just as horrible an actress as Catherine Zeta-Jones. Skeletor Swift. Uh, Okay, there's Marcus' opinion. Do I think Johnny Cash has lots of women? Not anymore. I don't really know much about Johnny Cash's personal life. What do you think about the Apple 100 albums list? Well, let's put it this way. I was listening to a little of the same live stream you were probably listening to, and I think it's ridiculous. just as, and personally, but that's just my opinion. But that's how I feel about it. If we are chatting about Taylor Swift in 50 years' time, like we are still about the Beatles, then she will earn respect. Exactly. Let's try 60 years' time with the Beatles, though. Well, I've talked about this before, okay? And this is the last time. Make sure he understands this, because as I say, if we're gonna keep on getting blocked up with this, like stuck here with this. I've said I'm willing to unblock his other account. I don't know what that other account is. So tell him if he can't hear me now to please write to me or something and tell me what his second account is. I can't block a second account when I don't know which second account it is. That's all. Hey, Chauncey Phillips, how you doing there? What's going on? Blu-ray and DVD today, so we gotta get into Target. We go. Um, that was the Ghost. Yeah, I heard there's going to be a Nosferatu movie, another one Christmas that's coming. I didn't know it was coming out Christmas. I don't think we need another Nosferatu movie, but it's my opinion. Revolver finished at like number 21 on that list, while it's Taylor Swift album finished at number 18. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't understand why it pops up for some people and some don't. I don't understand that. Have you heard the new album by the Lemon Twigs? No, but I've heard a lot of people say that they're pretty good, and they sound a lot like you know, Beatley. So that's all I know about it. Do I think Christian Bale will make a good Frankenstein monster? That remains to be seen. I don't know. Maybe on the surface of it, I don't see it, but who knows? I've not, believe it or not, I've not seen Shin Godzilla. I've heard it's very good, though. You say it's overrated. I don't know. I have to see it. Everybody says it's good, so I can understand why you would think it was overrated if you don't think it's as good as most people said. They put a Taylor Swift album above the Beach Boys' Pet Sound. If I was stranded on a desert island, what album and movie would you bring with you? Maybe the Beatles' White Album because it's the maybe because it's the Beatles' regular album with the most songs on it. As far as a movie, I'd have to really think about it. But it might be something like American Graffiti or something happy like that. I don't know, something cheery like that. Do you think that with the passing of Frank Ifield, the vinyl with Frank and the Beatles will be released again? I'd love a copy. Um, Maybe. I haven't heard anything. Do I think it would be? I have no clue. Good morning to Richard. Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. There's an opinion for you. There's another opinion for you. Yeah, that's true. No one really thought that Michael Keaton, I was one of them, would make a good Batman, but he did. I agree with you. I was one of the people that didn't think he could do it. Uh, let's see. Do. Hello, Cherry Carter. Hello. Do I know who that is? Yeah, I know. I know who he is. I don't. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I just know who he is. Yeah. Cherry. Did I say hi to Cherry Carter? I'm sorry if I missed you. Hi. Um. Hello. Um. Do you have a UK original presses on vinyl? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I don't have all of them. You know what I'll try to do is, I went and bought, the 2014, the mono re-releases. Then I wound up selling it because I made my decision that I wanted to get the original 1960s releases. So I started getting some of them. I don't have all of them yet, but I got some of them. But yes, I definitely want them all. Uh, I'm talking about original presses too. I want to get the first presses if I can, not represses. So yeah, I can see Jack is the question man. The answer is, I guess, is no, Jack. But do you have any Rolling Stones half speed masters? No, I don't. I like the Rolling Stones. They're my second favorite group, probably next to the Beatles. But I don't have any half speed masters. How far off is that room you are in? Do you think it would be full of stuff? How this room is not very big. We have a master bedroom here and a smaller bedroom. This is the smaller bedroom. Eventually, I hope to have more than two bedrooms. In a house eventually. Were Freddie and the Dreamers better than the Rolling Stones? No, not in my opinion, anyway. Do you remember a TV movie with Charlton Heston called Chiefs? Yes, I do. Never seen it, but I know of it. What genre would Naked Jungle be considered in? That's interesting. I don't know what I'd call Naked Jungle drama. I'd call it a drama. However, it does have some horror-like elements because it has that I own and that I've seen. You know. Um, but I would say drama. Some people think it's like horror, The Naked Jungle, but I don't think so. No, my records are not all in this room. Some of them are spread out, some in the living room as well. How much is all this stuff worth? About $3. I really don't know. Yes, I heard from Dan. I talked to him on the phone yesterday. He's still coughing, but he's getting much better, feeling much better. And he's been very happy to have the time off. He's been getting burnt out on doing live streams, and I have too. So we're fine. I just told him whenever you're feeling better and you're feeling like you want to do it, come on. Anytime you're welcome here, anytime you want. Well, not when I'm doing the solo show like now, but when I do the group thing. So, uh, Miss Danny, every day. Do you think the Stone sound is different without Charlie Watts? I can't remember the drummer now. I love the last album, Hackney Diamonds. I loved it. There was at least one track, maybe two, I think, that Charlie Watts played on. They were older tracks, and I forget who the new drummer was. I'm sorry, folks, but I did like I like very much the new drummer on the new album. So um, I'm okay with it. That's all I could say. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Chris. I know, believe me, I know what you're saying. Thanks very much, Jack. That's nice of you to say that. I have my ups and downs like anybody else. I'm a real person, you know. I have good points, bad points. I have good moods and bad moods. That's just like anybody else, I think. Should be. The character in my videos, the guy who brings a lot of junk, like the 45s, um, make a great comic character. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. While Danny is gone, you could replace your sidekick with Melody. For all I know, Melody's watching right now. All I could say is I really like the guy. He's really a nice guy, but he knows how I feel. We talked about it. A little bit of Melody goes a long way, so we got to use him sparingly, in my opinion. Um, it sucked that Tarantino completely scrapped the movie critic film, and started from scratch. So it'll be another 3 to 4 years. Yeah, I know he was going to do another movie. Rice or noodles, both. I Once Mick or Keith dies, I figure the Stones will cease to exist. Well, I should think so. I mean, I don't know with them. I don't know with them. Oh, I see. Steve Jordan was the name of the drummer, and Kit O'Toole. Hi, Kit. Just said yes. Jordan is Steve Jordan is the drummer. Hi, Kit. Used to play with Letterman's house band. Thank you. I forgot his name. Oh, sorry. Agree with Joe. The flying use bugs me. I can't really understand how you wrote that, but Danny is dissing his reputation for a new persona coming soon. The perky anti-chaos Danny. Yeah, I know you said that. I put it up. Did you see me? Did you not see me put it up, Chauncey? Please, I put it up. I made sure I put it up first before Kit, so you wouldn't feel left out. So yes, you were first. Is there anything that Mikey Arugula doesn't have? He's got a lot of stuff. Check out the video. I do videos with my new friend Mikey Arugula, who shows his amazing Beetle collection. When you go to the record shop, can you get at least one? Well, that saying is trapped in my head. I hear that. I don't know. I don't know if I did. I know I talked about this, but I wanted to just say, yeah, I think the Stones to me went on much longer than they should have, in my opinion. However, I think that if Mick or Keith passes away, and it turns out they still try to do the Stones without them, that's crazy. I've seen bits of Monty Python films, and I like what I see, but I've never sat down to watch an entire film. I like them, what I've seen of them. This is crazy. You know, I don't know. Give me the neither. I'm going to say neither right now because I don't want to think about it. Okay, the bong use bugs me when he's on the channel. Well, I've decided. I It was fun a couple of times. Now I don't want it anymore. So we're not going to have the bong use anymore on the channel. Davey says you can have the Stones without Keith. I thought of that as well. What I mean is, I was going to say originally that as long as you have Mick Jagger's voice, that's the Stones. Like you need the front man of Mick with his voice. That's the voice of the Rolling Stones. When I said that you can always get another guitarist instead of Keith, but when I said that you need both, I was saying that out of loyalty, really. Like, sure, the Stones could go on, have another guitar player instead of Keith, and you could have Mick Jagger continuing to do the frontman vocals, and it would sound like the Stones would be the Stones. But I just think, for loyalty reasons, you should have both Mick and Keith. Just out of curiosity, who is that random selection of notes in no particular order guy? Okay, you mean this guy here that I always play?
Okay. Who put this on? It's just a random selection of notes in no particular order. For fuck's sake.
Well, that he's just a regular customer. I haven't seen him in a long time though. So, got to go backwards. Have you ever heard Keith's version of "Waiting for the Man," a Lou Reed song? Never heard it. Beautiful foods or beautiful women? I'll go for the women. Steve Jordan also has played on Keith Richards' solo records and toured with Richards in the past. He's a talented musician. Bo- bo- bo. Do I think that Led Zeppelin could have continued without John Bonham? John Bonham is one of my favorite drummers. When people say, "Who do you think are the best drummers in rock?" especially, I always put John Bonham near the top. I think Zeppelin could have continued without him, just the same way that the Who continued without Keith Moon. Keith Moon being another one of the greatest rock drummers of all time. However, I like the loyalty in a way. I like the Led Zeppelin said we're not going to continue without John Bonham. I kind of respect that. I don't really know enough by Johnny Rivers. When gets given money, is it already out of his hands to pay something off immediately? Or does he got to save some? He's always in debt. He's always getting loans, and he's always when people give him money, he's always in debt. Let's put it that way. They could have done a Led Zeppelin with Bonham's son, but Plant and Page didn't want to do it, I guess. I'm not sure where the guy's from on that clip, the jazz guy. Yeah, but I heard I've heard people call him a Geordie. I just didn't know what that meant. But I've heard people call him that before. Someone posted a video of the Stones live recently. Couldn't believe how great Mick looked and sounded. What's his secret? I think you're writing, right? Yeah, what's his secret? Well, the thing is, I saw a clip of them doing Wild Horses from the recent tour, I guess, and I thought he looked and sounded pretty damn good. I think Mick still got it. Saying that Zeppelin or the Stones could continue without Bonham or Keith is ridiculous. They contribute too much. That would be like saying that Queen could continue making new music without Freddie. I don't think it's the same thing because Freddie Mercury is the lead singer, right? He's the main draw. We're not saying that the Stones could exist without Mick. That same thing as Freddie, the singer. Um, okay, do you believe May Pang when she says John confided in her? He wanted to be with her over Yoko and he went back only due to immigration. I think he may have said it, but not meant it. I really don't know one way or the other to tell you the truth. Um, I don't want to call May Pang a liar, and I won't do that. I just don't know. I don't know. But I really believe that John really wanted Yoko more than May. I really think maybe he was torn a little bit. Maybe he couldn't make up his mind, but he chose Yoko. Jimmy Page did an amazing job with reissues of Led Zeppelin albums. Box sets are the same size, just like Encyclopedia. When you get Universal Beatles and Stones box, all of them are different. Yeah, I hate that. I do hate that. I'm a fan of uniformity. I like them all to kind of be the same. John Bonham's talent and his drum sound is too distinct. You can't just replace that. Zeppelin made the right move with pulling the plug. That's what David Gilmour said when Roger Waters left Pink Floyd. Anybody can play the bass. No great loss. Well, Mick Jagger's been working out since he was young. His dad was a phys ed teacher, I think. Uh, do you think if John Lennon had lived, or the Beatles would have played at Live Aid? I don't know for certain. Nobody does. But I always figured in my mind when people ask me, "Do you think the Beatles would have ever gotten back together if John lived?" I always say I think they might have did something for Live Aid. I just feel like they would have put something together, even if it was just a small little set. Uh, I have no way of knowing for sure, of course, but that's what I always thought. Cozy Powell, who was on Plant's solo albums, could have replaced Bonham. Are you a breakfast eater? Well, we're all breakfast eaters. I don't. I'm being semantics here, playing semantics. Anytime you eat your first meal of the day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, you're breaking your fast. I know what you mean. I think breakfast is important. Yeah, but eggs, eggs or something like that. The Beatles could never work without Lennon. That's why Real Love, Free as a Bird now and then worked because they were old JL demo tapes finished off by Paul, George, and Ringo. Paul is now a billionaire. I thought he was already, but I did hear something like that. Honestly, reported as I did read something. Queen did an album with Paul Rogers in 2008 called Cosmos Rock in 2008. I believe and will always believe that Yoko was John's one and only true love. Well, to be fair to the other women, I mean, May Pang says something at the end of her new documentary movie. He says, John loved Cynthia, John loved Yoko, and yes, John loved me. And that's what she says. Now, I think personally that he probably loved all three. I think he did love Cynthia, but he fell out of love with her. And I think he kind of loved May Pang, but not in the same way he loved Yoko. I think he loved all three women to some degree or at some time, but I think Yoko was his truest love and his soulmate. Bonham's son does a great job, Jason Bonham, right? Mickey Dolenz is still rocking as the only monkey left, so sometimes it can still work after members die. that's that's for sure with the monkeys, I gotta say. I don't think the Stones could go on without Keith. His presence and guitar sounds are too important to the band's music. Here's a question, Joe. Let's say the Beatles never quit and kept making music. Do you think that if any of the Beatles died, they could just replace the member, even if it was George or Ringo? No. I personally think the Beatles were those four individuals. I know John Lennon himself at times would be a little dismissive, and he would say, we could get Eric Clapton when George left. Get Eric Clapton, or something like that. Or I remember him saying John and Paul he said, were pretty much the main ones. He says, I'm not saying I forget the exact quote. We could have did it with two other guys. He thinks, but I still don't think the Beatles would have been what they were without George or Ringo. And I'm not even talking just about musically. Musically, sure, but Ringo in particular, I wish people would realize, and some people do. Ringo had a sense of comedy, a wit, banter, a charming personality. The clown. Ringo was a very important part, and his personality went a long way, aside from just the drumming, to what made the Beatles what they were. I believe. No, I've never believed this. Nope. Just a deranged fan. I don't believe in that at all. Personally, other people believe it. I don't. I would imagine George would say no. Well, see, the problem is, yeah, well, maybe in '85 George would have said no. It's hard to know. He said yes in '95 about the anthology because he needed the money. That's what the story is, but who knows? Uh, my favorite Ringo Starr solo song is "It Don't Come Easy." Um, Beatles ended when they should have. I can't imagine a '70s Beatles disco album or a '90s grunge Beatles album. I happen to agree with you. I think the Beatles ended at perfect time. They ended so that their catalog is pretty much flawless. So if you want to nitpick and say, "Oh, they got a couple of turds in there," whatever. Basically, they have a pretty solid catalog. Everybody can agree with that, right? Beatles have a solid catalog. I'm glad that they disbanded when they did, and I like that we went on to four other adventures with the solo work for the four of them. Okay, listen to him. That sounds good. Isn't Christian Bale a method actor? Wouldn't that be hard for him to do? I don't know what we're referring to in that case. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody else you're talking to. You often make a distinction between best and favorite movie. Is your favorite movie better than your best movie, in your opinion? It's hard to say. I don't know what my very favorite movie is. I'm a little mixed up here. My favorite one of my favorite movies is The Omega Man, a science fiction film from 1971. I don't think technically it's the best movie ever made. Or is your favorite movie better than your best movie in your opinion? I don't really know. I'm sorry if I can't follow your art there a little bit. Uh, Being a billionaire, I should imagine you would never touch that billion. You'd be living off the interest alone. Henry could wait. Henry, could De Niro have played one of the Beatles? I'm reading it like Chauncey Phillips. Recently, I started to listen to Taylor Swift to give her music a chance. There wasn't a bad song on them. Most people dislike her because the press oversaturation. Well, I will tell you, I couldn't care less about Taylor Swift. However, I do think, from what I've heard, a few of her songs, and I do think they were okay. And I do think at least her music sounds like the kind of music I would like. You know what I mean? I don't care about Taylor. I'm not interested in going down that rabbit hole and collecting things, listening to all the music. But I do think that she has a talent, and I do think that her music sounds pretty good for today, especially. Probably the best, one of the best things out there today. Uh, all right, where are we at here? When do you think bands should retire? Well, that's all different. There's all different reasons for that. In some cases, if one band member is not in there anymore, they should retire. In some cases, if they have a lousy music, I don't know. I guess it's all different. Hats off to John Entwistle. He dies with his bass around his neck with his amp full on. Legend. Oh, I got to see John Entwistle with Ringo's All Star Band, at least in 1995, and he did sing Boris the Spider. So I say that Taylor Swift is a criminal to society. End of story. I don't know about that. I was surprised today about how many old bands are going on with one or no original members. There are more than you would believe. Yeah, I've heard that. In some cases, everybody's is replaced. I think there's the band, the, the Grassroots. I think are all new people. I think. Now you say if Yoko would have been welcomed in the Beatles, then they would have stayed together and John would have been happy. I don't think so. I think the Beatles needed to break up. Not just because of John and Yoko, but everybody. Well, everybody but Paul. Paul was the one who was the most happy. Agreed, Joe. I think John said we can get Eric Clapton out of anger. They didn't get him, did they? No. He might have just, John was probably doing that to be hurtful or to be a wise guy. You know, Ringo now looks like the cute Beatle. Um, do you believe either John or George would still be making albums if they hadn't passed away? I would say yes. I would say yes, but who knows? I think we can certainly comment on who John loved. After all, the internet comments on every other aspect of John's life and didn't know him. The internet comments on every other aspect of John's life and didn't know him. Right. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. And and I gave my opinion about it. I think Yoko was his number one soulmate and true love. Who's my favorite Beatle? John Lennon. Snookeroo is my favorite Ringo song. Snookeroo is my favorite Ringo song. Sorry, Chauncey, I got to read it like that. I actually, I love that song, Snookeroo. I love it. Elton John track. The difference between De Niro and Pacino is that De Niro could play Pacino's roles, but Pacino couldn't play De Niro's roles. I can't imagine De Niro playing in Scarface, playing Tony Montana. Okay, I can't picture that. Sorry, that's just one that pops into my mind. I also can't picture him, De Niro, playing the character in Dog Day Afternoon either. I can't picture that. George spent tons of money and it ran out. He even bought John Entwistle's Castle Mansion. Have you done a video on top Ringo solo songs? Gee, I can't remember. I would think I had to have by now. My favorite movie is not Ben Hur. It's one of my favorite movies. It's in my. I think Ben Hur is the best movie ever made. There's a difference. I think Ben Hur is the best movie ever made, and yes, it's one of my favorites. But I don't know about my number one favorite. Joe, will you buy the new Davy Jones CDLP that was shelved? No. Uh, it's amazing to read about T Rex, et cetera, becoming so big after the Beatles broke up. Who knows what would have happened if Bolan didn't die when he did? If you buy a DVD, are you bothered about the extras or are you in it just for the main movie? It depends on the movie. If it's a movie I really love, the more extras, the better. If it's a movie I don't care that much about, I'll just take the movie. Having said that, having extras, no matter what the movie, any movie have extras, anything is always good. What if John had never met Yoko? The whole story may have been somewhat different. They perhaps may have gone a little longer. And John also might have died. And he said that Yoko saved him from a kind of death. I don't know about death itself or a kind of death, but so we don't know. Anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. Um, I wonder which Taylor Swift album is her Pepper. I wouldn't know that. I don't know how you feel about Taylor Swift, but I don't care for her music. I'm glad though that she's like a Beatles on the Nirvana of music right now. She's like someone for musicians to follow. Well, like I said, I'm glad. At least it's her. I mean, there could be a lot worse. You know. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon, folks. I mean, I'm enjoying this very much, but we're over an hour, so let's see. Uh, Searchers are still going with only one original member, John McNally. I think Ringo will outlive Paul. Unfortunately, I think Paul maybe has 5 more years at the most. Ringo can live into his 90. We don't really know. We don't know anything of that, but I could see where you get the feel because right now it seems that Ringo is like ageless. Right now he's like really, but let's hope everything's good. Foreigner usually has no original members on stage. REO Speedwagon did some shows with only Kevin Cronin, not even the original singer. Okay, thank you, Jack. In Get Back, you can hear how angry and aggressive they are rehearsing, playing loud after George leaves. Right, because they were kind of nervous. I think they were nervous and uptight and tense. It was a tense situation. I read that John had issues with balancing family and marriage time with Paul's single life freedom. Okay, I got to think about packing it in now, guys and girls. Thank you so much. Well, I'm sorry if I'm missing a lot. Oh, do you like the song "Baby Blue" by Badfinger? Yes, I do. I just heard it yesterday, as a matter of fact. Uh, all right, that's it, folks. Thank you all for being here. This was really a great chat. Thank you. I had some different people here that I don't usually see here that often, or if at all. So thank you all. Glad it went all right. And I hope to do this again next Saturday around the same time. It could be 4 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Eastern, somewhere around there. And please be sure to come back. We'll see how that goes. And what else am I going to be doing? A lot of stuff. Happy Memorial Day to folks out there. Also, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to have the Mayo Lounge where I should have more than just myself. That's the idea of it. So thank you, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Cheers.